Okay, so we got one more main quest before we head into the deep roads. Let's see. You know what? I think I've got it. Let's see.
No offense to your uncle, but this house smells like really old cabbage.
Done taken, Varric.
I'm expected.
I thank you for coming. This matter is delicate, and I need someone of limited notoriety who will not link this to me. It is an escort, but I think you will agree the nature of the party makes this unique.
If this is criminal, I already have enough trouble.
I should think you're about to have more. I am Sister Patrice. This is my burden of charity.
Twist my tail.
Would even a Templar bind a mage like this? A survivor of infighting with their Talvashoth outcasts. I call him Katojan, a bridge between worlds. The Viscount and others feel that peace begins with appeasement. This mage would likely be returned to his brutal kin. He can serve a better purpose. I want him free. He must be guided from the city without alerting his people, or being seen in my care.
You don't just stumble on someone like this.
For all their blasphemous certainty, the Kunari do have deserters. Those who seek freedom are hunted mercilessly.
Talvashoth, they seem to accept the role.
Even their rebels conform. Savonel observed one of their bloody exchanges. This poor mage was the only survivor.
And you think this mage was being hunted?
I am certain no thinking creature would willingly submit to this. If he was not running before, he has seized the opportunity now.
If you're so intent on this, why not use Chantry resources?
My order will soon realize the Kunari presence is more than a test of faith. It is an open challenge. But for now, I must act on my own. Helping this mage shows how Kunari heresy cannot be ignored. His flight is vital.
Is freedom so helpful? A new life with that collar seems doubtful.
And yet it is more than he has. My reach is limited. His struggle is his own.
It just seems like releasing a bird, cage and all.
We do what we can to step toward what is right. That must be enough.
You're not interested in who you might be hiring.
If you were important enough to know, I would need someone else. But if you insist, what is your family name?
My name is Hawk.
Strong. Very Ferelden. The Kunari have hardly pressured the southern nations. You have not seen as many converts or those who refused. If this action, if any action, can lessen their influence, it must be done.
Will he help? If I trust him at all.
I don't know his capabilities or if he can function at all in that collar, but I think he knows we are his only way out.
You think?
He's followed every direction and made no aggressive moves, even when taunted. Were I in his place, I could have fled. Kunari or not, I can only assume he wants to be led to freedom.
And if you're wrong, I have to deal with it.
That is why I went to Lowtown. You are either capable of the discretion and skill that I need, or you are not.
I had dealings with the Kunari leader. He'd want to know of this.
You have dealt with their leader. If you have interacted with Kunari, you know how they treat those who leave their heathen order. The Arashok would doom this poor creature. But knowing them is useful. If they challenged you, attacking an ally would only confirm their barbarism. You are still right for the task.
I can get him out of cover. He's a bit conspicuous for the streets, though.
I had never thought about the plight of mages among the Qunari. But it seems they are even more oppressed than we are.
That is obviously not an option. You must avoid incident with the guards. I cannot be linked to this. This mage will be a fine example of how cruel Qunari are, even to their own. But only if this plays out just so. The passage here leads to the warrens of the Undercity. It is dangerous, but that is why you were hired. Good luck.
Took a hit to Varric, but that's okay, I can. But you know what? He's still plenty in the blues, so there'll be plenty of opportunity to get him back on the friendship path.
Do it or don't, but get out of my sight, Pharrell.
Wow. How charming for a Templar.
I thank you for taking Cotogen. The passage leads through the Undercity and around the Guard. I will pay upon your return. I know this may be a reluctant duty. Let us hope there are no unforeseen incidents.
Oh, and hey, look, Templars and Chantry sisters wear the same skirt to show that they serve the Chantry.
Tromping the deep dark with a horn skull mage, and other colloquials to that effect.
Thing. It's pretty easy to earn Varric's friendship. In fact, you actually pretty much have to go out of your way to be a rival with Varric.
Watch your step.
Oh.
I don't like the looks of this. That should do it.
Awful lot of traps down here.
Tread lightly around here.
Done. Watch your step. Messing with us. Suicidal.
No talk and no fight. This Qunari's not much of a traveling partner.
Look at this. Undercity's feared by all, but there's no shortage of fools with coin who want to test it. What is this thing? Collared like a dog lord's bitch. You some sort of Qunari lover? Maybe I should get rid of you and see who'll pay the most for your pet.
I don't think it likes you threatening its master. Maybe we let this one pass. Do everyone a favor and listen to your friend.
Unless you lot make a holiday of the last free place in Kirkwall, tax it up like even Lowtown. I'll cut you up and save the biggest piece for your pet. By the void! Kill it! Kill them all!
The danger has passed, Katojan. Calm your... You did what I said. Did I hit the right phrase or something? Right. Could have expected that answer. Did you react because your lead was threatened? How much of this is just blind instinct, I wonder? You can't gesture or stomp your feet twice for yes or something.
I bet all he wants is to go chasing after thrown sticks. And someone to rub his belly.
I'm getting you out of here before you help again. Still clear as a bell. Great.
Got the next piece for the last descent armor.
You will hold Basra Vashidan. I am Arvarad, and I claim possession of Serabas at your heel. The members of Iskaratam were killed by Tal Vashoth, but their disposal leads only here, to Serabas and you.
I just got here, coming from the other way. If there was a trail, I didn't leave it.
Yet you are here with Serabas. The crime is his freedom, his leash held by unknowing Basra. We will not allow that danger to continue. Let your own mages doom you. Serabas will be properly confined.
And if he doesn't want to go back?
Serabas, show that your will remains bound to the Qun. He has only followed you because he wants to be led. He has allowed no other purpose.
The sister called him Katojan. You are Serabas?
Serabas is his role and his name, as you understand it. It is the accusation and acknowledgement of being a mage.
And you are Arvarad?
My role is to hold the leash and hunt the Grey Ones who leave the Qun. Or Baz who have not yet been enlightened.
You don't care that someone abused your dead to get you here?
No doubt they were cast from your shoulders as you or your partner thieves grew weak. It is a crime whose victims are beyond caring. It will be dealt with, but the greater threat is clear. It is my role to secure Serabas. It is the role of another to purge the perversions of your kind.
He is bound and abused, and you want him caged. Why?
The power that he has, that all Serabas have, draws from chaos and demons. They can never be in control.
So you fear them?
Like so many others.
We leash Cerebos because they are dangerous and contagious. Not even your Templars fully grasp that threat.
I've met with your leader. The Arishok would not want a potential ally challenged in this way.
Claiming to know the will of the Arishok with Cerebos in your care is Marasi Mikari, a child bleating without meaning. The Arishok knows what is to be done with Cerebos who lose their Avarad. There is no greater threat to their control.
He is bound...
Hold on.
We leash Cerebos because they are dangerous and contagious. Not even your Templars fully grasp that threat.
Are mages like Anders so dangerous? He's given no reason to fear him yet.
You waste your breath. He'll never tolerate my kind.
You are Cerebos? Boss Cerebos? Vashidan! Neira Setar Karasam! You spewed your words at me like a demon trying to poison my control. Like this mage, the Cune requires your death.
But we're no threat to each other.
Boss Cerebos, you will be no threat to anyone.
Can you stand?
I am unbound. Odd. Wrong. But you deserve honor. You are now Pasvarad, worthy of following. I thank your intent, even if it was wrong. I know the will of Arvarad. I must return as demanded. It is the wisdom of the Cune.
So after all of this, now you want to die?
I do not want to die. I want to live by the Cune.
Which means dying.
Yes. Is that hard to grasp?
Could you have returned if I'd let these others live?
No.
You were doomed from the start.
I was outside my Karatam. I may be corrupted. I cannot know. How I return is my choice.
Of all the ridiculous, spineless, mind-controlled, senseless piece of shit arguments I've ever heard.
What comfort has freedom brought you, mage? You would have more if you submitted to the Cune.
Arvarad couldn't kill me. Perhaps he was wrong about your death, too.
Losing to you does not make him wrong. He spoke the Cune. I have chosen. It is bred in the bone.
Existing is not a choice.
It is the only choice. As it Tal-Eb. It is to be.
Patrice might take you back, if death is the only other option.
The sister was not honest.
What do you mean?
I cannot say what she wanted, but it was certainty. not of the Qun. And her guard smelled of death.
Others of your kind live outside the Qun. You could join them.
They are not my kind. I am Qunari. They are not.
They have chosen to be free.
Free? They have refused what they are. I can't choose to not be.
I can't let this decision stand.
If you force choice, it is not choice. Your doubt does not make me wrong. Certainty is comfort. That is the way of the Qunari. The way of the Qun. Take this secret thing, Basfarad. Remember this day.
The creature was free. There was no need for that.
She may not have known about this, but clearly Patrice set a trail right to us.
If this was her doing, I have a few questions for her.
As do I, Anders. Honestly, it's like, this is what the Qun does to mages. It tells them, you know, you are a monster, you are a demon, you know, you deserve to be, you had to have your lips sewn shut and be collared, everybody, some people say, oh, Hawk would have been better off as a Qunari, but it's like, yeah, maybe a warrior or a rogue, but Mage Hawk isn't. If you're a mage under the Qunari, then, it's like, oh, and friendly reminder that in the first game, Gregor can be like, listen to how Sten can casually mention what they do to mages, and Gregor can be like, that's not a bad idea. Showing just how much of a low bar being one of the more liberal and open-minded Templars really is. But in the meantime, Patrice will. I have some questions for Patrice.
Leave nothing. It must be clean, with no ties. Hawk. It was Hawk, right? From the streets. You took the Qunari from the city? Without incident?
Without bloody incident? You know better.
Mind your tongue, woman.
Please, do speak your mind.
The bodies of the mages Karatam led right to us. Why?
You come back speaking their language and think to lecture me? If such a plot existed, if the Qunari had murdered you for trying to help their slave mage, then yes, someone might have found that useful. It would have cast doubt on appeasement. Perhaps your death would have been a tragic necessity. Perhaps finding the mage was a rushed opportunity. But all we have now are dead Qunari and the word of a sympathizer.
Your Ketojan killed himself rather than be free.
I assumed he wanted to escape, just as I would. My pity is genuine, but they are not like us.
If, perhaps, why dance around this lie? I'm standing right here.
If a member of the Chantry admitted instigation, I have no doubt it would result in more appeasement. But an accusation from a low-town thug? You are hardly that important. That's not an insult. It's why I chose you. Rest assured, excuses, real or imagined, are not for your benefit.
I won't forget this, sister.
Take your coin. Disappear back into Lowtown. Rest assured, I will not make the mistake of looking for help outside the Faithful again. The stakes, eternity, are just too high.
That one will be back, unfortunately.
Yes. Patrice is a real piece of work. But the thing is, she's pretty much taken the Chantry's doctrine to its logical conclusion. You know, there are a number of Chantries, sisters and mothers who think just like her.
I don't want your pity.
Are you talking to me?
You said you were sorry about the ritual I endured. Keep your sorrow.
I only meant...
You have all the freedom none of our kind enjoy, and you throw it away. On what?
Our people need to reclaim their heritage.
A heritage of defeat? To what end?
Would you truly turn your back on your own history? There's so much we don't know.
It's not my history. It's simply history.
He's such a dick to Meryl, I swear. In the meantime, the Arishok will want to know about this. But it's like, you know. Yeah, sorry, Ferris, but I'm gonna have to take Meryl's side in that little argument of yours.
So, there must be mages in Tevinter who don't use blood magic.
Of course. There are slaves. The Magisters do not hesitate to collar their own kind.
But no Magisters.
Why must you go on about this? No Magister would turn down an advantage over his rivals. If he did, he'd be dead.
You know, to use blood magic, you need to look a demon in the eye and accept his offer. I just figured some of them would say no. For aesthetic reasons, if nothing else.
And again, that sounds an awful lot like Orlais. Where Orlesians will stab each other in the back and turn on each other the second there's an advantage over a rival.
Why do you bother me, human? The dwarf paid you. There is no more. Your kind thinks selfishness and want are normal. This city, all of it, leaves a bad taste.
If you despise this place, why haven't you left?
Since we arrived, I have seen nothing but greed and weakness. Dwarves, humans, elves, just festering. No order, no goal. You are one of the few I have met with any ability. And yet this too was random, a result of selfishness. I cannot fathom how a mire like this can be justified. You say we should leave, but how can you bear to stay in this chaos?
My welcome to the city was not so different from yours.
And yet you suffer it.
It's an opportunity to make a real difference.
Karisten are soldiers. The Qun made it so. They can never vary from that assigned path, never be other than they are meant to be. But they are free to choose within that role, to accept and succeed, or deny and die. Glory is clear and defined. Could not this entire city benefit from that certainty? How else will you know when you have made a real difference?
He's free to choose to obey. That isn't contradictory to you?
He chooses to be. As do we all, long before any of your meaningless freedoms are presented.
I am not the one to educate you. I did not intend to land here. But this city may demand certainty. I suspect we are done, human.
You guard your powder carefully.
It is a tool that can only be allowed to exist under the ordered authority of the Qun.
It could benefit many people.
It does now. Just as swords benefit warriors, but are not given to children. Well, your children.
I don't think Kirkwall would do well under military rule.
The rule of the Qun is not military. It is discipline and order.
How is that different?
To your limited understanding, it is not. You fear soldiers that arrive to remove your pitiable vices. But they do not control Kunari. The Triumvirate divides and governs. One is nothing without the others.
Can you tell me about the other two parts?
No.
Then we can learn nothing.
I am no more equipped to explain than you are to understand. Arishok, Arigena, Arikyun, pillars of the Kunari, of the nation that must be. There is but one way to know these things, human, and I have yet to decide if it must be done.
You're a long way from home. Why did you come?
To meet a demand of the Qun.
Which was?
It is a matter only the Kunari understand. We remain until we fulfill the demand of the Qun, or until the demand changes.
I've had confrontations with others in your command.
There have been a number of incidents, but you must mean Arvarad, found dead after tracking Cerebos. I thought nothing could threaten Arvarad.
You are not angry?
A mage is dead. That is what matters. The rest is impressive, but do not repeat it.
I believe a member of the Chantry intended it to happen.
Friend and enemy blend together in this sea of filth. I can barely discern one group from another. But as this clearly means something to you, I acknowledge the risk taken.
Cerebas chose death over leaving the Qun.
That is good to hear.
That is all you have to say?
I will not insult Cerebas with the suggestion that making the right choice was difficult. I expect as much from every Kunari. I doubt Cerebos earned a greater honor in his life than my reaction now.
How many Kunari have you lost to the Tal-Vashoth?
None.
That seems unlikely.
We lose nothing when weakness abandons the Qun. It is the Tal-Vashoth who have lost themselves.
I met an honorable one.
Doubtful.
He said he was a mercenary, not a murderer.
Then I know he made no claim to honor. When they sell themselves, little remains. He is not even dead to the Qun. He is a living insult.
Farewell.
Panahedan, human.
Well, telling him about Patrice at least earned another point towards gaining his respect. Let's see. There's merchants around here.
Watch out by the Kunari compound. They seem very angry.
Kind of want to do some last-minute shopping before we head out to do the Deep Roads expedition. Because we've pretty much done everything we can now. We've done all the quests we can. We've taken care of all the mages. We've taken care of all the gangs.
Ask where anything came from.
Kirkwall ain't what it used to be.
Watch out by the Canary compound. They seem very angry.
So, there's no circle among the Dalish?
Any child with a gift of magic is apprenticed to a keeper. In another clan if there's no need in our own.
That sounds nice.
Magic is a gift of the creators. Why wouldn't we use it? It just seems wasteful for humans to lock their mages away where they can't do any good.
But you are a blood mage.
And she's a responsible blood mage, Bethany.
I'll try to do better, Miss Eyre.
And yeah, usually if you fail to get the 50 coin, then you can take out a loan near the end of Act 1 from someone really shady.
Is there any flour? We've been out for a week. The children are eating sawdust.
I think we'll donate to the refugees.
I haven't eaten all day.
I should have stayed home and took my chances with the Blight.
You again. What do you want?
Is there a way I can assist these people?
If you've coin to spare, we won't turn it down. Donations go in the box up front. Anything else?
I just want to see your wares.
Look around. We don't often get customers with actual coin to spend.
My wife died yesterday. I'm taking up a collection to afford the burning.
So, is the Keeper your mother?
I left my clan when I was a child, to become Marathari's first. I haven't seen my parents in more than 10 years.
I'm so sorry. My father died in the Blight. You must really miss them.
I remember my mother singing to me when I was a little girl and I'd get sick. I think that's what I miss the most. The Keeper has a terrible singing voice.
Hold on, I thought Malcolm died 3 years before the Blight. How about a little consistency, writers?
Absolutely. See you then.
I think I'm gonna recruit. Okay, so